In question 16, we have 10 take away 5.4 or 10 minus 5.4. Now, one thing you notice, this is a whole number and this is a decimal number. And whole numbers are also called integers. And remember we said it can be positive, negative, or 0. Now let's line these up in traditional column subtraction. So it will be 10, take away, and the 5 is in the ones column, so it has to go here. 0.4. So that is what our calculation looks like. Now what we can do to help us, remember this, if this is your ones column, the decimal point isn't written, but it's there. So we can put that there to help us, and we can put a placeholder here, or a helper 0. Now we've got one decimal place there and one decimal place there, so we can do the subtraction. 0 take away 4. We can't do that, so this 0 has to go to the neighbour to borrow 1. This 0 can't give 1. So now this 0 has to go to its neighbour. So we cross out the 1, and this becomes 0. And this 0 becomes 10. Now this 0 can now borrow 1 from this 10. So we cross the 10 out, that becomes a 9. And this 0 turns into a 10. So now we have 10 take away 4 is 6. Now with these decimal points, we have to be careful. We're going to line our decimal point up here as well. It's very important you keep everything lined up. It avoids silly mistakes. So now we have 9 take away 5, and that is 4. Now if you're unsure about this, there's 10 and there's 9, and we need to take away 5. So all I simply do is take away this hand. So can you see what I've done? I've taken away this hand, which is 5, and I'm left with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is another way of doing it if you're finding it difficult. And then finally 0 take away nothing is 0. We don't need to write that there. So our answer is 4.6. Now what I want to do is I want to check this. So what I can simply do is take this number and this number and add them. So I'm going to do the opposite of that. Let's do that here. 5.4 add 4.6. And we're going to add them. And if I get 10, my answer is correct. So this is something extra that I'm doing. So let's have a look. 4 add 6 is 10. I can't put 10 like this, so that would be wrong. So I'm going to rub this out. So 4 add 6 is 10. We have to put the 0 here and carry the 1 over to the next column. Now again, carefully bring the decimal point down and line it up. 5 add 4 is 9, plus this 1 is 10. So I put the 0 here and I carry the 1 over to the next column. And because there's nothing else to do, I can write it straight down. So my answer is 10.0, which is the same as 10. So I want you to know this as well. 10.0 is the same value as 10. So that's correct. I just wanted to highlight this, 5.4. There's the decimal point. The first digit to the left is your ones or your units. So let me write this down. Children are taught ones now, and the older children, or with me, we were taught units. So that's the units column or your ones column. Now, if you go to the right, this here is your tenths column. So you tend to write it with the lowercase t. Let me write that down, tenths. And sometimes they write it as 1/10. 1/10.